tardes, Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Double up, ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Did you hear what I said? I said guard, ba-da-ba-ba-ba. It's a double up, ba-da-ba-ba-ba. It's just a double. I said bye, I said bye, I said bye, yeah. What it is, you can tell by that thumbnail right there. What it is, I see King Lil G and Conejo the Harpies, right? Now, Conejo the Harpies, that's my favorite Chicano rapper. My favorite brown rapper, right? I've said it many a times, and I don't hold no punches or add preservatives when I say that his music touches me. I said that's when I'm ready to go do something. I'm in a depressed mode or whatever the case may be. I throw in some Conejo, some old school, and recognize the realism in what he spits and what he says. Now, everybody that listens to hip hop, listens to Chicano rap, listens to whatever the case may be, at the end of the day, indubitably, they're entitled to their own stilo, to their own what they think is the best. You know, if you're up north, you're going to say Big Tone and Speedy Loke and Woody and Babyface Wood and Nacito and Iggs and GB and Rico Too Smooth. And you know what? I give every single one of those men I just mentioned their props because they're definitely putting it down for their gente, man. There's no doubt about that. And so many more that I didn't even mention. These vatos got the north on lock. Now, when it comes to the south, vatos like Conejo, Little One, Night Owl, King Lil G, Drummer Boy, Lil Weirdo. These are the ones, Misfit Soto, stand up, homie. These respects. These are the ones that lay it down south. And there's so many more that I haven't mentioned that I got to give respects to too. But it seems like this past week, there's been some discrepancies. Spence on la tira. There's been some words spoken amongst King's Lil G and Conejo from Harpies. Now, okay, I'm a big Conejo fan. And I like King Lil G's music as well. I won't take nothing from that vato. That vato's younger, impressionable upon a lot of the young, gangsters out there and youngsters that like his music. And he's the one. He's the one. He's definitely holding the crown right now, holding it down, heavy as the head that wears that crown. I know how he feels. One thing I will say, though, is Conejo actually did a spill on his channel. Make sure you guys tap into Conejo's channel. I'm definitely a subscriber and a supporter. He did a spill talking about Little Rob. Ain't nothing like them summer nights. I just kicked it at home. Mr. Polish up the chrome. Called the worker on the phone. Told her, give me a mamon. Anyways, he called it how he's seen it. And he said that Little Rob is the king of Chicano rap. Now, what has Little Rob done that not a lot of others have done? He definitely went mainstream first. That's it. After Lighter Shade of Brown, of course. And don't. This is for La Raza. Kid Frost. Now, there were several others like Brownside, that definitely had a lot of willings and dealings and were signed by NWA's one Eazy-E, a legendary figure in the rap game, rest in peace, and Tutoker as well. There's been several rappers that have come along that have definitely hit their mark, man. They've made things happen for their people. But at the end of the day, the most recognizable face when it comes to Southern California rap in the game is Little Rob, That's just how it's been. Spencer, he was all over VH1, MTV, and things of that nature. He crossed over for the gente. And one thing that we liked about Little Rob was that he definitely kept it Chicano. He definitely kept it brown. That's it. 63 Impalas and tortas, oh my, pisto and tortillas with the frijoles frias. He kept it real. It was something that we could identify with. Neighborhood music, classic album. So I could see where Conejo said he's definitely the king of Chicano rap just based on his longevity, things that he done, and doors that he opened for the gente. Okay, now King Lil G has also done a lot of opening doors for the gente, especially the youngsters. It seems like a lot of people have modeled their rap game, their stilo, their flavor after one King Lil G. You definitely can't take nothing from this vato. Now, there's other individuals like Dopey, Ese Baldacci from Florencia. These individuals, too, are deep in the rap game. Tres. So many rappers down south. To give one individual a crown when there's so many that are you can reasonably say can hold that crown as well. It's not a frivolous thing to do. It's just from one man's point of view. Now, Conejo is a legend. He's legendary in the game when it comes to Southside of rap, Chicano rap, Southern California brown rap, right? He's been doing it for 30 years, man. He's been doing it since the early 90s, late 80s. This vato has been on the map. He's transitioned and took his rap game to a whole nother level. Shit, this vato makes movies. You know, this vato is rubbing elbows with Shia LaBeouf and George Lopez, and he's doing big things. He transitioned and he's making big moves. Now to me, making all these moves and being able to do that as an underground rapper, even being on the run for over 15 years and going through his trials and tribulations and toiling in the soil to which he did, to me, that shows a lot of fortitude. That shows a lot of kingly ways. You know what I mean? Bow down to royalty. He's royalty in the Southern California rap game. But of course, he's a modest individual. Those that have seen Conejo, the way he acts and walks and the way that he puts his spills out there, he's definitely a very modest man, a very humbled individual. And that's what it takes to exercise the longevity that he's had. To have the type of fans and supporters that he does, it's because of his humbleness, his consistency and being humble, respectful to the next man. Now, I don't think he meant to disrespect King Lil G in any type of certain way when King Lil G felt that for no other reason, he himself should hold the crown, should be considered in that upper echelon of rappers from Southern California, as he should. But this was Conejo's point of view. This was his perspective and who he thought did the most for the raza as far as opening doors and going mainstream. And yes, you got to give Little Rob his just due. I have to agree with Conejo when I say Little Rob may not be the king of, you know, Southern California Chicano rap, but he's definitely in that upper echelon top 5 just based on what he was able to do and accomplish. Now, he had the look, he had the sound, he had the vibe, he had the stilo that so many people craved and so many people wanted to see, and he was able to do that. And a lot of people bought into it. King Lil G comes from a different flavor and a different style, but also a lot of people buy into what he says and what he's got going on. The vato can rap, but Conejo himself also can rap. Okay, so you're looking at a rapper's point of view. There should be no tension there. But of course, King Lil G decided that if for no other reason, he was going to basically call out Conejo to a cipher, to a battle rap. He said, I'll battle rap you and pinche Little Rob at the same time. I said, that's what he was about. Saying basically that his rap skills are more up to par than Conejo's and Little Rob's. Now, what happens if Conejo decides to agree to this? It becomes bigger and goes beyond just rap. People start getting barrios involved, politics, things of that nature start to become involved, and people start to think that there really is some discrepancies or some type of hatred or a versus, a real life versus, as you know, with Mr. Capone and SP, whatever he does. You know what I mean? You already know, guard, you know too, what happens, right? People start to twist it. You'll see comments where people are like, oh no, they start to pick and choose sides and they turn it into something and blow it out of proportion to something it's not. Essen gente. You know, and that's definitely what happens. You know, same thing has happened with me in life. You know, if me and a vato are not seeing eye to eye, next thing you know, fight him, box him, hit him, scratch him, bite him, chew his ear off. It's like Mike Tyson. Nah, it's not even that serious. We just had an argument. We don't get along, and you know, or we do get along, but we had a slight disagreement, and it's very simple. Almost grown men know how to talk. But King Lil G decided, you know, like the younger generation does, let's settle this with the rap. Let's settle this with some freestyle. Let's settle this with, we'll tell the people and show the people exactly who the king of this rap shit is. Okay? Now, Conejo just recently, a few hours ago, dropped a video, a response. And in his response, again, like I said, the vato's very humble. And he said, you go ahead and have that, homie. He declined the freestyle. Why? Because this vato is doing bigger and better things and understands, being a veterano, being someone who's been in the game, understands how something like this could get blown out of proportion and turn into something that it shouldn't be. Now, he respects King Lil G, as I'm sure King Lil G respects him, or he wouldn't even admonish him or acknowledge exactly what's going on. Okay? Admonish is not the word. It's acknowledge. Pensa. No one gets admonished. You know, I understand where King Lil G's coming from. You know, wanting to show and prove to everyone that he's that one. And he definitely is a heavy hitter in the rap game. He definitely deserves his spoils, and he definitely deserves his accolades for the things that he's achieved in his life. And he hasn't stopped yet. He's going to continue to progress, because that vato's got that coming. He has the stilo. He's definitely got a lot of fan and a heavy fan base around him. Now, Conejo does as well. Me being the number one. It's like, hey, that's shit. When it comes to rap, throw us a Conejo. You feel me? You know what I mean? I want to hear some of that grimy, that dark music. You know, some of that real gangster shit. That's me. Okay, that doesn't mean he's better than anyone else. Who would win in a freestyle battle? One never knows, does one. But Conejo knew enough to say, you know what? Sabes que, Holmes, it ain't like that. Respects, that's it. We're not going to take it there. Because, of course, any real person who's really did time, who's really been on the run, who's really been in that life, who just happens to be a rapper, an actor, and have a lot on his plato and be a very busy man, understands that it could only cause confusion amongst the fan base. It can only cause dissension and division. And that's something as a raza we definitely don't need. See, people like Conejo, King, Lil G, Dopey, Little Rob, they're an advocate for the unity of raza, meaning they want the raza man to be able to enjoy all the music that's out there. So I am going to have to agree with Conejo in the way he handled this like a real man and decline that offer. It's not because he's scared. I mean, what happens? You're always going to have people that say, oh, you did better, or oh, he did better. And this ain't no pinche SWV versus Escape. I say, this ain't the Wu-Tang Clan versus the New Tang era. This ain't Boys in the Hood versus Menace to Society. These are two real individuals with a lot of real hitters and real people around them that are going to feel some type of way and take it to the calles. See, that's the thing with the raza and the Mexicanos. We don't just keep it on stage. That's it. We don't just keep it in the bathroom. You know what I mean? What we do as a people is we take it to the streets. We take it to the calles. We take it to the barrios. We take it to the jungles. Let's say, oh, in the jungle, the mighty jungle, the essays rule tonight. I'm telling you exactly how it goes down. Guard, let them know. The messages are different. I'm telling you, what happens and what begins to happen is it starts to culminate into a whole lot of what it shouldn't be. Already on YouTube, people are like, oh, Conejo this, and oh, King Lil G that, and Conejo took an L, and took an L how? The vato was respectful, humble in his response, and very forthcoming with what he thought and what he stood 10 toes down and respectfully agreed upon what he believed in. It's his perspective. If he believes Little Rob is the king, that's his game he's giving you. If King Lil G says, it's not, Holmes, I am. Well, then that's his perspective. Neither one of them are wrong because everybody has their own get down, Holmes. Okay? But with King Lil G calling out both these vatos, I'm waiting on Little Rob's response. Maybe Little Rob will say, hey, shit, ain't nothing like that summer night, right? And do his thing. But Conejo respectfully, and I say respectfully with the capital R, Holmes, declined that. He didn't decline a fade. He didn't decline a fucking the Wyatt Earp, ready, walk 10 paces and let's go. He didn't decline none of that. He simply said, you know what? I ain't got time, or I'm not willing to put forth the effort to do something like that. Now, in the future, he may. If he has the time, today I got time, cuz, you know what I mean? He may. But that doesn't mean just because the vato says, nah, man, you know, you got that, Holmes, run that. Doesn't mean that he should be looked at or ridiculed or talked about, or you took an L. An L on what? An L on what? He simply said, hey, I believe Little Rob's the king. Yes, say, nah, homie, I'll beat you and him in a rap game. Okay, well, you can have that, homie. Right now, I'm making a movie, Spencer. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm doing too much big things over here. And I understand his plight and I understand what he's going through. So I wanted to put a video out, you know, to give you some knowledge that you definitely can't get in college. Just say, this is brown stuff right here. To give you, sprinkle the woods in, brother. To tell you guys this, I respect Conejo's decision. I understand it. And I simply say to the raza, that's not an L, Holmes. That's respect. That's the way a man's supposed to carry himself. That's the way a man's supposed to put it out there. If you haven't tapped into Conejo's channel and heard his response and watched what's been going on, make sure you guys tap into it. Give that vato a little bit of that. He deserves it. He deserves some acknowledgement for everything that he's done. He's opened a lot of doors for the people, as well as King Lil G, Little Rob, right? Your neighborhood, kick you back, neighborhood music. He's definitely done his thing. King Lil G now comes from a different generation, a different era. Okay? Not a watered down era. Not a more gangster era, but an era of difference, gente. An era where the youngsters nowadays are more boisterous, they're more flamboyant, they're more out there. There's social media. See, when Conejo started to rap, there was no social media. It was just get in the back, get in a fucking closet on some foam, homie, and drop a beat. You know, and that's what it was. It was that grimy, gritty, just get it, you know. Whereas now it's let's go to the studio. I got 200 on a session and let's do it. And so Vatos got a lot more clecha. There's a lot, you know, but they wouldn't have that rap skills and they wouldn't have none of that without the forefathers laying the foundation. People like Conejo, Night Owl, Little One. These guys that laid the foundation down. Toker from Brownside. All these individuals, you know, that laid the foundation down so that way the younger generation can keep it going. If anything, there should be a lot of respect there. Now, I don't speak for King Lil G nor Conejo. I don't know these two individuals from Adam that boned Eve. I don't know, right? But one thing I do know is I definitely support both their music. I support their talent and I support the raza. And them being brown, that's it for me. That's all I need. That's what it is. So when it comes to Conejo's response to King Lil G, I think he did an exceptional job. I think he did exactly what I expected him to do as a man that I respect. And that was respond respectfully like, hey, homie, nah. And as for the people that are leaving comments, oh, he took an L, or he don't want that pleito, or he don't want that, what the what? What smoke? Going in a rap booth and spitting into a mic? That ain't pleito, that ain't smoke. He's smart enough to understand he doesn't want to take it that route because there's always going to be a loser and there's always going to be a winner and the loser's always going to feel some type of way. Period. And then the loser has homeboys who feel some type of way. And then his homeboys have some homeboys from the water that feel some type of way. And guess what? Anyway, then it goes ugly. Vatos are smart. Stick to getting the bag. Stick to representing for the raza. Stick to being brown, professional, and talented. With that being said, man, I hope I put it out there in some real life shit because that's what I does. Cuz with that being said, I hope that you move with a purpose. Get every single thing that you want coming to you. And remember, at the end of the day, it's up to us, gente, to support, you know, our peoples. Ain't no one gonna do it for us. We have to do it. If you like this, hit a like and subscribe with the thumbs up. Put all notifications on so you can be notified because the gun got a lot to say. If not, thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head in the YouTube game that wears this crown. Who wants to freestyle that? And with that being said, let's get it, gente. This is the gun. Bang, bang, and in that fashion. Orale, Burner Cookies. I didn't even mention Burner. See, he's doing big things too. Pensa en la tira. Gar!